That was fun.
What did you do a walk-on today?
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Great idea. Boy, am I energized from that cardio. Welcome to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. I'm Kevin Pereira. And I just want to say, I saw something prolapse today on the internet. So thank you, Team Attack.
Can we stop talking about that, please?
What? Oh yeah, Candace saw it too. Candace Bailey, everybody.
I got suckered into watching. Actually, they told me not to, but I couldn't resist.
Yeah, that's not exactly suckered. You willingly leapt in front of that laptop.
We're coming to you live from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles.
It's on the show.
On the show today, former UFC champion Tito Ortiz and the Flares break down UFC 129. And Andy Allo reveals Mattel's big Comic-Con exclusive toys from Marvel and DC. And even Ghostbusters bad guy, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I love this. Loves me some Stay Puft. Then Tiffany Smith flew to Rio to meet The Rock, the Vin Diesel, and the cast of Fast Five. So there's that. And we'll reveal 3 great games for the Android tablet crowd, including Tower Defense. It's kind of like the Alamo, but with monsters. So that's kind of cool. Hide in the basement.
Webheads!
Internet. All right, so we know that nobody likes to get charged by a moose, but it happens all the time. We think so.
Next time you find yourself on the receiving end of an oversized deer, take a cue from the guy in today's Around the Net number 5.
Hey!
What?
Det kommer gå på oss istället.
Good for him!
That was pretty awesome. He went home and went right to Reddit. You'll never guess.
I am a guy who scared a moose. Ask me anything.
It's a good thing to know how to do if you ever find yourself in the frozen hellhole known as Canada. So keep that in mind. Also works on the bigger girls at the saddle ranch if you don't want them to get on the mechanical bull.
That's awful.
You ever been to the saddle ranch?
Yes.
Let me on the bull! Oh God. Oh God. Oh, it's not rated for your type, honey. I meant brunette.
In at number 4 today, a clip from Late Night Lord Conan O'Brien.
Seems the folks over at Team Coco are a little worried about the casting of Marvel's new superhero movie, Thor.
You all right?
You dare threaten me, Thor, with so puny a...
You are a vain, greedy, cruel boy.
And you are an old man and a fool! Hi-ya! Take this, bitch!
You sounded like Chris Crocker. I like that.
It's never a good sign when a thunder god calls you a bitch.
No. It is more dignified than Hulk smash!
I like your voice.
Thank you. I spent 0 time working on that today.
Did you?
So thank you, yeah.
I really like it.
Thank you, it showed.
Here's a tip for aspiring actors. If you're looking to get into the saying words on camera business that I'm not always so good at, you're going to need a talent for self-promotion.
All right, so there's this guy, Brad. He doesn't have any of that. So he hitched his wagon to Timberlake's overly romantic dance anthem, Love Stoned. And to his credit, he did get our attention.
Yes, he did.
Hi, I'm Brad Galber. I'm an 18-year-old non-union actor/print model. Thank you for considering me, and I hope to work with you on future projects. You understand? You understand? No, you don't understand. You think because you have a PhD and a framed certificate on your wall that you magically know what I'm feeling? What a load of crap.
What was that awkward pose at the end? Is the door shut? Like, that, what kind of pose is that?
Oh, poor guy.
I was gonna say McLovin's still getting work, though. Brad, listen. If you're gonna make it in this business, you gotta take it to the next level. Don't get discouraged, but
Yeah.
just amp it up.
And look at our headshots.
Yeah, really, you could learn a thing or three right from there. Look at that, candy pants, boom.
Look how good that is. I'm such a good picture taker. Oh,
what I'm saying?
yours is really good.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you get the job and you keep it.
Oh, Kevin, that's
Right there.
sexy.
You gotta dazzle it up these days. You gotta give them a little something.
You got them done today, too, huh?
Yeah, I did, thank you.
They look very nice.
Appreciate it.
Coming in at number 2.
There's a woman and her tongue.
Just an FYI, that's called tongue bifurcation.
Yeah, and I just realized I'm bifurcation curious.
Of course you are. Oh, of course you are, Kevin.
I'm all right with that, actually. Still ahead, we have a slightly racist cartoon series.
Chuck Norris is our number 1 ATN. No, I know.
Today's ATN introduced us to Brad, who's got his steely blue eyes set on a promising Hollywood career. So tell us, what role did Brad land after this? Tweet us your responses at AOTS, #OMGROFLOL. If your response deserves to be up in lights, we'll feature it on tomorrow's show.
Yay, jump up and down.
I'm glad the air is where you put that.
Yay!
Today's number 1 item is yet another piece of the infinitely sided diamond that is the life of Chuck Norris.
Before Norris had his ironic resurgence, people paid attention to him because they actually thought he was cool. In the process, he even had his own short-lived, horrible cartoon show.
So here's the opening to Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. And I want to be very clear about something. This is a real thing that was actually on television.
Chuck Norris, man of action. Chuck Norris stars in Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. Chuck Norris, he's got nerves of steel and strength to match. Chuck Norris with his team, Pepper.
It's too dangerous, Chuck. Wow.
Too much.
Too much.
Kimo, the samurai warrior. Reed, Chuck's teenage apprentice. Tabe, the sumo champion. With Chuck Norris, they battle the sinister forces of the Claw. Remember this. And the ruthless Super Ninja. I'll finish Norris! Chuck Norris stars in Chuck Norris Karate Commando.
Really? It's incredible.
But why was the only girl in Karate Commando stuck driving the van?
You're absolutely right. Chuck Norris should know better than to make the girl the one in charge of driving.
That's not what I meant.
That's not?
That's not what I meant.
No, I mean, I completely agree with you. I agree with what you mean. To get your daily viral fix and to check
I'm an
out...
amazing driver, by the way. Amazing.
To get your daily viral fix and to check out all the viral videos we have to
I've only
offer.
backed into one tree.
Did it come out of nowhere? How did that...
It did. It came out of nowhere.
Where were you when you backed into a tree?
My house. In high school. And I hid it from my mom for a week.
What, the tree?
No, my car.
How did you...
The whole side was like...
So you hit it and then
I was
continued to
looking
back
this
up into
way.
it.
I was like, oh, crap. Yeah.
Case in
Just
point,
one
Candace
tree.
Bailey, ladies and gentlemen.
But now I'm an amazing driver.
Of course you are. Go to g4tv.com/around the net if you want all sorts of stuff on the webs. There you go.
So tomorrow morning, the nation of Britain
And some oddly obsessed Americans.
will be consumed by the cultural event of the generation.
Yeah. Hey, 2 people are getting married. Woo!
But one of them is royalty.
Oh, and I'm the Duke of Not Carrington. Hello. But we're gonna check in with the wedding of Prince William and what's-her-face anyway, so let's do it.
Here's special correspondent Mickey O'Rourke. live
Mickey.
from East End. Hi, Mickey.
Oi, oi, oi! Hello, Candy and Kevin.
Mickey.
Having to say, you're in good hands. We've got some exclusive footage of all the festivities.
All right, okay, cool.
Can't wait to see.
Here's a gander at the bride and groom.
Is that some sort of joke or something? I don't.
Those aren't royals.
Oi! Back in the olden days, we could have had your head chopped off for saying that.
But they're not.
Here's the bitch walking down the aisle.
Okay, Mickey, we paid you well.
right.
Where are the royals?
Oh, calm down, Candy says. I got something you won't see on none of them Access, Holly Wash, or whatever shows.
Okay.
You want a sneak peek at the honeymoon?
They aren't even married
Sure.
yet. How do they?
Maybe where they're going. Oh, come on.
Okay. All right, we can stop the. Okay, we can stop the clip, guys. We got it. We got it. That's a terrible YouTube clip.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
You see how tiny he was?
Yeah, I got it. Therein
Who
lies
are
the
these
humor.
guys? You said you had a great Euro team that could get access.
Listen, Candace. Oh, okay. All right, Candace, listen. All the good TV crews were booked like months in advance for the stupid wedding, so I went on to Craigie's list, and I found these guys in the work for drugs section, which I didn't know existed, but I figured they'd be
Kevin,
fine.
are you serious?
What? Yeah, I thought they'd give us some coverage.
But I care about the wedding.
Oh, Candace, love, the lads with the fancy trucks was all sold out now. So, I'm gonna go ahead and take this camera, trade it for something I can huff up my nose, or I can stick around and introduce you to Prince Albert, eh?
Take the camera.
Right, then.
Okay, thanks, guys. I call foul.
I'm here at the Mattel headquarters in California to bring you an exclusive first look at Mattel's new line of collectibles you'll see only at this year's San Diego Comic-Con.
The great thing about Comic-Con is it lets us do one-off items that really complement collectors' entire collection. Things that we couldn't really offer at retail or even on MattyCollector.com because it might not fit in with our standard structure. So we can do some really cool creative stuff.
Sweet, let's take a look at what we have today.
All right, let's check them out.
Green Lantern, huge movie coming out. What are we looking at here?
This is Kilowog, who's the big drill sergeant that trains Hal how to use all of his Green Lantern powers. So he's the biggest Green Lantern we've done yet, and he'll be first available at Comic-Con, fully articulated. So we've got my Hal Jordan here just for scale, so you can see how much bigger Kilowog is compared to Hal. He's huge and massive, and you can pick him up first at San Diego Comic-Con for $25.
So I see on the box says Swamp Thing. Huge fan. What's in the box?
This is a character who has actually been off limits to us for a couple years, but now that he's back and part of the DC Universe again, we are so excited to bring Swamp Thing into our collection. So it starts off in this great Swamp Thing recyclable biodegradable mask. You pull this out, and there he is. What's great about him, this is the first DC figure we've done that's got exoskeletal articulation. All of the articulation is inside. You don't see all the joints, which really worked well with his kind of swampy skin there.
You told me there's like a little surprise?
Yes, only at San Diego Comic-Con. All of our items will be on Matty Collector after the show, but when you buy it at the show, you'll be able to get the Unmen. Swamp Thing's little extra critters that only come with him at the show.
So we've got Unmen, Swamp Thing. What are we looking for price?
Swamp Thing will be $30 with the Unmen. But of course, if you're at Comic-Con and you forget your costume, well, we got you covered.
Right.
Because the packaging doubles as a mask.
Voltron.
Yep, Defender of the
Talk to
Universe.
me.
So there's been a lot of Voltron toys over the year, but no one has ever done a super articulated Voltron at about the 6-inch scale. And that's what you're gonna get here. You're gonna get Voltron just like he looks in the original 80s cartoon, fully articulated everywhere, comes with both different versions of the sword, and the package has an amazing voice chip that recites the entire opening of the cartoon show.
The Legend of Voltron.
Voltron here with the sound package will be $30.
Defender of the Universe.
Scott, I am a huge Ghostbusters fan, so what is inside this thing?
Well, we have the hugest Ghostbuster item we've ever done. Presenting, here he is, Mr. Stay Puft,
my God.
our Ghostbusters San Diego Comic-Con item. This is the biggest Ghostbusters figure we've ever done. I think it's the biggest toy San Diego Comic-Con has ever had. Just show you in scale there. Here's a standard, here's Marshmallow Ray. It doesn't come with it, but you can see how big and massive he is. He is made of an amazing kind of plush material here. You can feel he's squishy. He's got some basic articulation there.
So cute! Stay Puft Man, San Diego exclusive. What are we talking price?
Everything with the diorama is $70.
Thank you so much for the sneak peek. I know everyone's dying to get their hands on these at Comic-Con. So I'll take one of each and you can just send a bill to G4. Cool?
You're gonna have to come to Comic-Con like the rest of our fans. We'll hook you up at the show, don't worry.
Fine.
The Legend of Voltron.
You know what? We should totally have some toys at Comic-Con this year. And wouldn't you know it, today's viewer poll presented by AT&T is, what Attack of the Show collectible would you most likely buy? Future Kevin, Booty Shaking Candace, or Drunkle Ted's basement playset?
Oh my God, I would love that playset. Log on to G4TV.com to vote right now. We'll have the results a little later on in the show, still ahead. The new Transformers trailer has leaked onto the net earlier than expected, and Sarah Underwood has it for you in the feed. How is she in London?
And later,
How did she get to London?
It's here to handicap UFC 129 and MMA chokehold. I don't know, Kevin.
We're only days away from the return of Ninja Warrior, one of the most exciting shows on television. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that the behind-the-scenes setup for the competition is equally intense. While Rome may have not been built in a day, thanks to a hardworking and dedicated crew, every Ninja Warrior tournament is shot within 24 hours. It takes a crew of over 200 people to put this massive course together. The course itself is 427 feet long, including all 4 stages. It takes 30 truckloads of steel and scaffolding alone to create the final tower that looms over the other 3 stages. Every time the Ninja Warrior tournament is held, the course is rebuilt from scratch. And those insidious muddy waters of the Midoriyama swamp are refilled each time the course is constructed. Meanwhile, crews of camera and sound operators are always on the move to get shots of the competitors as they fall into the water. The production crew, engineers, and safety techs work together in sync as each competitor runs the course. And even though the show is taping, there are crew members whose sole task is to reset the most difficult obstacles again, and again, and again. No matter how long it takes, or how late it gets, or what the weather is like. These guys keep their noses to the grindstone until the last runner has fallen. Or someone goes all the way on the final tower.
Just go to the next one.
Your baby is precious to you. Moms choose super absorbent Lovey's diapers to catch all those little leaks.
Sometimes somebody has to fly to Rio and hang out with The Rock.
Oh, that's somebody's Tiffany Smith. We hope she got airsick.
Quicker, sleeker, and hotter than ever. The franchise that brought the racing genre back returns with its 5th installment, Fast 5.
This is $100 million.
You say what?
How How do you get faster and furiouser with these movies?
The first 3 films feel like they go in different directions. They wanted the next 3 to speak to each other and to feel more like a saga.
Why'd you drag us halfway around the world?
Because we got a job.
Dom is the big man on campus. In this film, do you think that Dwayne Johnson is the biggest challenge he's had to date?
Clearly.
You're going down, Toretto.
I'm right here.
I wanted to create a character that was old school, Old Testament, that you don't see today, and has a moral code, which is, listen, you did something wrong, and I'm gonna hunt you down, you're gonna pay, either with my gun or with my fist. Crime scene's 10 hours old and counting, men. Let's go hunt. I wanted to be a walking, dominant beast that can rip his head off. Ben and I just talked about how cool this is and this type of opportunity. He packed a lunch every day, I packed a lunch every day for 1 week, and we went at it.
So it wasn't really a pissing contest between the two of you guys. You were like, we're in this together.
I never have pissing contests with anybody. First of all, you don't want to get into that. They call me The Rock for one reason, baby.
This role was originally constructed for Tommy Lee Jones, and when we came up with this concept of incorporating Dwayne, it just took fire. It just became, how could we not do that? How could we not have fun with that?
How difficult was it doing the car choreography through the streets of Rio?
It's always very difficult, but I have the best crew in the world. You can plan all day, all month, all year, but when you get 2 colliding vehicles hit, they don't end up exactly the way you want, and you have to keep finding out what the essence is and keep moving forward.
Were there any cars that came on set that you were just like, oh, I really don't want to blow this one up?
The classic Corvettes jumping out of the train, we wrecked a few of those. It does always hurt.
There were some tears from the tough guys on set?
Yeah, everybody.
When they were like, oh, we're just gonna do a little parkour on the rooftops of a shanty town in Brazil, were you just like, yeah, count me in?
When I heard we were gonna have like these parkour guys come in, I'm like, I'm watching it all, and I'm like, I can do that. I think I can do that, you know? And so I start talking to Justin, and next thing I know, I'm doing more and more and more of it.
I had to be more than the girl, and Justin is all about girl power. So I was more than happy to be jumping around and jumping off roofs, and I got stitches because I just tore my hand on a metal roof in Puerto Rico, so yeah, and I felt pretty badass. I was like, yes!
Let's go.
Can you teach me the art of the stare down?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Can't smile.
I feel like it's badass when you smile at the end of it. You're like, you smile when you say stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm still scared of you.
Usually it warms loins. Look at my man here. He's like, you gotta wrap it up. That. We're not wrapping anything up.
The unstoppable force running full speed towards the immovable object, Fast 5 is the grittiest in the series. It will knock the appetite for speed right out of you.
All right, so full disclosure. A lot of what we tell you is something called pretend.
But not Sarah Underwood. She only has the truth on her tongue.
I do, and I want to tell you the truth, and it's the feed, and it's right now.
All the news you need to know.
Feed.
It's Thursday, April 28th, and here are your top stories. Woo! Yeah, it is yet another day without PSN. And hey, wait a minute, there's actually some good news. Okay, Sony now says that the credit card and payment info for their network was in fact encrypted. Analysts think the encryption is probably enough to prevent the info from being widely used by those responsible for the intrusion. Meanwhile, notorious PS3 jailbreaker George Hotz has chimed in and insisted that he was not in any way involved in the attack. He said, quote, I am not crazy. In the meantime, Sony is working with law enforcement to catch the culprit and hasn't indicated when the network will be back to 100%. For the latest on the situation as it develops, go to g4tv.com/PSN. Now, TomTom is in some hot water for selling users' GPS and speed data to the police. Yeah,
in the Netherlands. Now, according to Dutch news agencies, TomTom sold a large cache of driver behavior data to an intermediary company that then sold the information to the local police. Cops would then use the data to determine better placement for traffic cameras and speed traps. A spokesman for TomTom has responded and said that while the data they sold was anonymous, they were unaware of how it was being used. Now, there is no indication that the same thing is going on here in the States, but it's kind of nice to know that companies are so willing to whore out user data. Am I right? I'm right. Right. Thanks, Candy.
Yeah. Sorry.
What? You're perving out over there for no reason at all, just
I
cuz.
didn't say no reason.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Redbox kiosks have become a go-to for picking up cheap movie rentals, but starting this summer, you will be able to grab games too. Yeah. Starting June 17th, all of the 21,000 Redbox kiosks will boast a small selection of titles for the Wii, PS3, and Xbox 360. While movie rentals cost $1, each game rental will be paid to play at $2 a day, which means you might rack up quite a bill if you plan on renting Fallout. Yeah. Now, we are happy to announce that G4 and K-Swiss are raising the stakes for this year's American Ninja Warrior. Yeah. Okay, now, not only do you have the chance to run the world's most difficult obstacle course at Mount Midoriyama, but you've also got the chance to win a $5,000 endorsement deal from K-Swiss. Yes, 5,000.
500,000.
500,000?
Yeah.
500,000! Wow, that's way more exciting. Okay, well, 500,000, so way better than 5,000. We'll be holding open tryouts May 16th and 17th at Venice Beach, California. And you can submit an audition video by tomorrow, April 29th at g4tv.com/ANW tryouts. Thanks for helping me out, guys. And finally, the newest trailer for the third installment of Transformers hit Apple's site a little earlier than expected. But we've got all the kick-ass, explosive awesomeness right here. And from the looks of this trailer, it appears that Michael Bay delivered.
Our entire space race of the 1960s was in response to an event. If you breathe a word of what you've seen here, it will do time for treason.
Everything humans know of our planet, we were told had been shared. You lied to us. You've made a grave mistake.
Years from now, they're gonna ask, where were you when they took over the planet?
You'll be fine, I promise. It's over. I'm sorry, but it's over.
Optimus! You may lose your faith in us, but never in yourselves. From here, the fight will be your own.
Just been fed, and now back to Kevin and Candace.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome.
If you have an Android tablet, we have 3 great games that you must have.
Yeah, they'll make you feel better about not having an iPad. The latest batch of Android tablets are gaming powerhouses. Here are 3 great games to start you off. Lock and load with Gorilla Bob, a comically violent top-down shooter. The virtual pad on the left side of the screen controls your movement, and the right side aims and fires your weapon. Various enemies, including soldiers with flamethrowers, bomb-tossing assassins, and excavator-driving madmen, stand between you and total victory. As you blast your way through the bad guys, you'll pick up bonus items like damage multipliers and money to buy additional weapons. Though it's challenging, you can enlist help from a friend with multiplayer co-op over Wi-Fi. Gorilla Bob's HD carnage looks great on widescreen tablets, and the fast-paced action is relentless. Get the 1-level light version for free, then upgrade to the full version for just $2.99 in the Android market. Next, break out the Aviators for Mini Squadron. This 2D game is half physics-based flying sim and half shoot-'em-up. Maneuver your plane around enemy pilots by climbing, diving, and looping with the virtual flight stick. Then take aim and fire by tapping on the right side of the screen. Fly too high and you'll risk stalling. Too low, and you'll crash into the sea. Defeated enemies drop stars that give you temporary special powers, like invisibility or slow motion. After each level, you unlock more planes with different weapons and flying abilities. Mini Squadron is the true definition of a casual, pick-up-and-play game. But the addictive gameplay? It'll keep you coming back for more. Grab the free version, then upgrade to the full version for access to more levels and planes for just $2.99. For something with a little more strategy, pick up Dungeon Defender's First Wave Deluxe. It's a perfect blend of classic tower defense, RPG elements, and hack-and-slash fighting. Start by choosing a hero and heading into the dungeon. There you'll find a crystal that you must defend from an advancing horde of monsters. Controls are basic, with a virtual stick on the left and action buttons for jumping and attacking on the right. Before each wave of enemies, you get to place walls and booby traps around the crystal to protect it. Then, activate the crystal and prepare for the onslaught. Hopefully the monsters don't get past your defenses. If they do, you'll need to fight off the intruders with your sword. Slain enemies drop gear like weapons and armor that you can equip to improve your stats. Emerge victorious and head into the next dungeon where another crystal awaits your protection. Dungeon Defender is an epic game with plenty of item collecting and leveling up to please even the hardest of hardcore RPG fans. Get the full game completely free in the Android market. The tablet revolution is here, and Android fans have some great games to kickstart their app library. Oh yeah! Stay tuned. Tito Ortiz is here to debate UFC 129 and MMA chokehold. Up next! The feed is brought to you by the General Automobile Insurance Services. For the best car insurance rates online, go to the General and save some time. Dylan Dog and his undead assistant Marcus are having some monster problems at the moment. So what happens next? Does the monster step off the rope and let Marcus fall? Does Dylan grab the rope but get knocked out in the process? Or does Dylan use the rope to kill the monster and save Marcus? We'll have the answer after the break.
Fail. You're dead. Major fail. Fail. Good. Fail, 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 fail. You lose.
Dylan Dog and his undead assistant Marcus are having some monster problems at the moment. So what happens next? Does the monster step off the rope and let Marcus fall? Does Dylan grab the rope but get knocked out in the process? Or does Dylan use the rope to kill the monster and save Marcus?
I'm one of you!
Is there anything Dylan Dog can't do?
You're my hero.
Dylan Dog Dead of Night is in theaters April 29th.
They're trying to give us a nice, clean debate.
tried. Manly. Let's welcome Tito Ortiz and Blair Butler, everybody. That's right. Fun fact, Tito actually ran here from Huntington Beach. He is that cardiovascularly superior to me in every level. All right, guys, let's get down to the fights. Jose Aldo versus Mark Hominick. Winner taking home the featherweight title. Now, both of these guys are the same size, no real height or reach advantage here. Aldo's defending the featherweight title for the third time, but Hominick's actually been fighting longer and is no stranger to the title fights. Now, they both love to stand and bang. I know I am personally hoping for 5 rounds of people punching and kicking each other as hard as possible. Tito, though, at this point, Jose is considered by many to be one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. What does a guy like Hominick have to do coming in, I think, as underestimated as he is, against a guy like Jose Aldo?
Well, I think Jose Aldo actually is a mini Anderson Silva.
Okay.
The guy strikes like unbelievably. The corners he takes, the angles he takes, and what he does with his flying knees, kicks, punches. The guy's amazing at, was it bantamweight. Hominick has his hands full. But, of course, Hominick is at home in Toronto with 65,000 fans screaming for him. So has Aldo ever fought in this type of pressure? Can he fight through the boos and get a win for his world title? It's only for him to answer that question.
Right. Well, as a guy, though, I mean, as a guy who in his career has been booed in his fights, it didn't seem to faze you. It never looked like you cared at all about people booing you. So is that really that big of a factor, the crowd noise when you're in the octagon?
Sometimes, I've only fought with 15,000. I can't imagine fighting in 65,000. That's with 15,000, you kind of don't really hear anything. All you hear is just one. But at the same time, when you have 65,000, I bet your heart vibrates, your body vibrates, and there's a big difference.
Well, Canadians are so nice. I'm sure their boos sound like smiles. Right. So I don't think it's going to be that bad. Now, Blair, on the other hand, Mark Hominick, like we said, super underestimated. Right. Jose Aldo has not only the kind of the press behind him, but I think just like the last couple fights, he's really ramped up his game a bit. So how does he beat Jose at his own game, really?
Well, I think Mark Hominick's going to pull off, or hopefully pull off, a little bit of a Canadian miracle. And one of the things that he brings to the table is really technical, precise striking. In his last fight, he finished his opponent with a basically standing knockout. And it wasn't because of the sheer flurry of punches. It was that they were so precise, they were right on the button, and he just picked the guy apart. And I think he's going to need that sort of technical ability to sort of survive and get away from the onslaught that Jose Aldo brings.
So Tito, who do you pick in this fight?
Well, my pick actually will be Aldo. And
Aldo. All right.
The reason why Aldo's 18-1, and he doesn't have many losses on his record, and he's very vicious. And let's say he comes with the game plan of using the strikes to set up the takedowns, because he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
All right, cool. Blair?
I'm going to also go with Aldo.
All right.
I think he's a tremendously well-rounded athlete, and we haven't seen him really challenged yet.
Okay. And I agree with Tito because I feel like I should.
That's a good choice.
Yes.
That is a good choice.
Good. Next up, the fight everybody's been talking about, everybody knows about, George St. Pierre versus Jake Shields. The winner, of course, going to take home the welterweight title. GSP has a little bit of a reach and a size advantage, but not much there. Both of these guys are veterans, have had really long and illustrious careers. GSP is defending his welterweight title for the 6th time. Now, Shields is an amazing wrestler. George St. Pierre is just really amazing at everything. So we are expecting some sort of war here. We don't know what kind. Butler, though, Jake Shields is coming off some huge wins, but this is arguably the toughest fight of his career. Yeah. How does he beat one of, if not the best fighter in the history of the sport?
Well, I have to say, I think Shields is hugely underrated coming into this fight because he didn't look great in his last fight. The other thing that he brings is great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or actually, I guess he calls it American Jiu-Jitsu, but he brings great Jiu-Jitsu nonetheless to the fight. And I think if he can get GSP down, that's where he has a chance to win it by submission, because one of his sort of weak points has always been his stand-up.
Now, Tito, it's interesting that she said that. Jake, not necessarily the best stand-up. Now, we've seen what happens to guys when they go up against St. Pierre and they don't have good stand-up. They leave looking a little different in the facial area than they did when they walked in.
And it still hasn't changed, I don't think.
Yeah, but I mean, how does GSP win this time?
It's some of the things that she kind of touched base on with the takedowns and the jiu-jitsu. Jake Shield does have good takedowns, but St. Pierre has great takedown defense. He's an amazing Canadian wrestler who works with the Olympic team up in Canada, and he's just showing a guy who's never wrestled in college or high school that his wrestling is phenom, like no other. His jiu-jitsu skills are great. He submitted Matt Hughes, so he has the defense to not worry about Jake Shields' jiu-jitsu. Right. Well, Jake Shields has a lot to worry about with his stand-up. So there's so many different things that are on the positive side of St. Pierre that Jake Shields has to worry about. Now, of course, once again, we're going back to the fans. We got 65,000 screaming for GSP.
They love that guy.
And I'll be screaming through my television also for GSP. But at the same time, he does have his hands full. Jake Shields has his hands full like no other. And I see this being a tremendous fight. Not going no more than 3.
No more
I
than
really
3.
don't see it going no more than 3.
Okay, well, then it goes to the 3rd round. Who's walking away with the fight?
I see GSP winning for the 6th consecutive title defense.
So GSP for you, Blair, I assume you're not going to disagree with this one.
I agree with Tito.
That's what I thought.
GSP all the way. He's well-rounded. He's dedicated. And have you looked at him?
I don't know how to answer that. Well, Tito, thank you so much for being here. And Blair, obviously, as always, thanks as well. Tito, before we go, how can the fans at home get a hold of you?
Of course, they can reach me on Twitter. That's at Tito Ortiz. And of course, you can check out my new gym, punishmenttrainingcenter.com. We got the virtual tour. I teach classes on Tuesdays and Thursday night. And of course, punishment.com. Check it out.
Thank you guys again for coming. Obviously, UFC 129 is this weekend. We will see who retains or wins the title.
Hey, are you a gamer gal that wants to be in at E3?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all you guys over there, your girls? Okay, all right. Well, then you should enter to be one of G4's official booth babes. Yeah. We're conducting a nationwide search for the right girl to represent G4 at the biggest gaming event of the year. So if your hotness is matched only by your gaming knowledge, go to g4tv.com/E3 for the rules and more info. You have until May 4th to submit your video, so don't procrastinate, and maybe we'll see you at E3. Yay! There's more Attack of the Show coming up next, so stick around.
And now, a hot chick just stands there.
Coming up tomorrow on an all-new Attack of the Show. It's an all-new weekend edition of DV Tuesday when Chris Gore checks out the indie flicks American Fetish, Lucky, and The Vinyl Frontier. Then we take a never-before-seen sneak peek at the all-new obstacles in Ninja Warrior 26. See how people will be hurting themselves this season. And find out if you made the show. We'll reveal the winners of the ATN Omgroflo Caption Contest. See it tomorrow. Here are the results from today's viewer poll presented by AT&T. We asked you, what Attack of the Show collectible would you most likely buy?
Well, the results are in, and 75% of you want booty-shaking Candace.
Wow.
Future Kevin took home 17% of the tally.
The most pathetic part of that is that only 8% of you are interested in Drunkle Ted's basement playset. That would be better than the Pee Wee House playset, I think. Some wood paneling, some stain stickers, a little Chinese basket. I think we should make it. I think it'd be a collectible that would sell. But booty shaking Candace would be awesome.
Do them all.
Are you a wind-up or a string pull, or how does that work?
Wind. Let's wind it.
All right, good to know. Thanks to Blair Butler, Blair Herter, Tito Ortiz, Sarah Underwood, Tiffany Smith, Andy Allo, Prince William, and Prince Albert. Next play
starts now.
That's right.
Good night.
Let me wind you up. Good. I get it.